welcome everyone to what has been a long time coming, another episode of Indie Inquiries here on the channel, where for each episode we review indie game store pages and provide advice on how best to market your game. For those of you new, this show we take a look at various store pages and we'll review it on different metrics and give it a final grade at the end. For longtime fans, unfortunately, with the bad news about Rob's passing, he is no longer going to be able to do these shows, so we're going to be opening these up to different co-hosts based on the genres. So when it comes to the action or any kind of action-focused game, I'm going to have my co-host from the Key Games podcast, Joshua Reyes, as my co-host for these. So how are you doing today?
It's great. I'm honored to be on this one. I'm looking forward to analyzing some Steam pages. I think to me, it's almost like, remember back in the day when we used to look at the front of video game covers and stuff like that, magazines? It kind of gives me that same feeling. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this. So.
All right, so we're going to be starting these off. We have a lot of submissions that came in late in 2022 that we're just getting to now. For anyone watching this, if you'd like us to review your store page for a future show now that we're getting back onto a regular rotation, be sure to leave them in the comments, send me a message, anything along those lines, and I will add it to the list. So for our first kind of welcome back, this is Jeebo and Jorbo versus Life. This is a Metroidvania / turn-based JRPG, which that is certainly a combination. It is not the strangest Metroidvania combination I've seen, though. So, with that, we'll start with our thumbnail. So, the thumbnail itself, as we were talking about this before the recording, I don't see anything like egregious or bad about it, but I'm not seeing anything that's like really like, oh my goodness, it makes me want to click on this game.
Yeah, definitely. Even if I was just scrolling just for the thumbnail, there would be nothing that would intrigue me about it. I have literally no idea what is going on or what type of game this is or what they're aiming for, right? So, yeah, definitely. It's not egregious like you said, but it doesn't really stand out. And I feel that after seeing the trailer and seeing what they could have done a lot more with it.
Yeah.
So
I am noticing something that I didn't quite pick out when we were reviewing or looking at this before. The Jeebo, it seems to be like not at like the same alignment as Jorbo. Like I can't tell if it's like slightly up or the letters for that are like slightly smaller than Jorbo, but it's like looking like a little weird to me.
I wonder if that's due to the color. Like if the color's causing like obfuscation, maybe. But yeah, it does look off. Like definitely that also just kind of looks a little.
Yeah, and like I like the frame, like the green frame around. Like again, like nothing in terms of like the format of this, I would say is bad in any way, but it's just not really giving it like any kind of like oomph to like getting someone. And I would have liked maybe like kind of like an action shot, like maybe like them like jumping at the birds or something to convey that this is, hey, they're jumping and there's also combat.
Right,
Again,
right. It's very static. Even like the birds are back there not moving, and they have weapons, and like they're almost like they could almost be in the pose, like it's almost there, and yeah, but it's just too static.
Yeah. So grade wise for me, like again, like I don't feel like it's a bad thumbnail, but at the same time, I don't see it as like above average. So I think I'm leaning maybe average or like the gentleman's C kind of for this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on that. Again, like the border's nice. There's good color choice. That all matches and everything, and nothing egregious. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the gentleman's C also on that one.
All right. So let me set things up, and we're gonna go to the trailer next.
Okay.
And the trailer, for those of you watching, we have an issue right at the start. I'm going to lower the sound down a little bit while I'm playing this. Is that the opening of this trailer is just essentially the first 30 seconds of the actual game. And this is not what you want to do as a trailer. Like, it's very slow. It's basically just like 30 seconds of filler for this game.
Yeah, it's like egregiously slow, and it doesn't do any. I mean, it doesn't do any of the major faux pas where like it does like the name of the studio really long, the unknown studio, and any of that. But it doesn't get you have no idea what it's like literally I think where the game starts off, and it's 30 seconds of empty filler. And then once it starts, then I'm like, okay, cool. So they could have just cut that out and start. So instantly right there, that 30 seconds needs to be deducted off the trailer.
Yeah, and I like the picture-in-picture that they're using for like showing off different things. Now, the trailer itself, it may be hard to tell for people watching, but I don't think it's properly a resolution, or it's not properly scaling right. As if you're watching this inside Steam, it's showing like black bars on either side.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely some switch ups, and also in the screenshots also. But yeah, because I think they were using probably the same media to do that.
And again, like once it gets going, like a minute to like a minute 20, the footage here is not bad. It's showing a lot of action. There's a lot of variety. But there is another issue. For those of you who are watching this right now, you probably just blinked and you missed it. But at the 140 mark, it stops and it shows the escape menu screen. And that is definitely like a little bit of a faux pas. It's not like horribly damning, but it is a bit of a mistake for it. And then 147.
Yeah, there's two of those. Yeah.
And there's no real call to action at the end. There's no, available on Steam or buy now, or it does say available now.
It does say available now, very wispy, but it doesn't state the platforms, and the call to action is not very apparent. It's like very diminished, like in the color choice, you can barely see it, and but it's there, but not a focal point at all.
Yep. So in terms of the trailer, it definitely commits a few issues in terms of trailer design.
Yeah.
As you said, it thankfully doesn't start with, the studio name and stuff like that. But first off, it's too long. At most, a good trailer is 90 seconds, and that's if you can fill 90 seconds with good footage.
Yeah, good luck.
This one, we could maybe argue, has 40 seconds, maybe 50 seconds of good footage.
Yeah.
And the whole 30-second, that whole thing, that can just be cut out, and I don't think the trailer would miss it at all.
Yeah, definitely. So, just cut out that first part, re-edit it, fix that pause thing, and then it definitely be more snappy. Just get into the action, show what it is, and definitely.
Yep. So for a grade, it definitely is not getting, I think, an average for me. I have seen worse trailers, which I know that's kind of damning this with faint praise, so I don't believe it deserves in the F range. But it's still not right. Like, again, there's too many issues, I think, to give it like a super high grade, so I'm kind of leaning like D minus, I think, for this one.
I'm gonna go with the easy D minus, just because that the 30 seconds at the beginning, and then the mist. While it's not a bad thing, that pause in there, and as someone who has edited trailers before, I know what happened and what they missed. So that means that they really weren't paying extreme attention to the trailer. They were letting the trailer like balloon up in size instead of like curating it and making it better.
And I've done that too in a few of my videos. I have to be it is something you have to be very mindful of when you're editing lots of footage.
Definitely.
But yeah, so I think D minus D will kind of maybe like in between there. But yeah. Unfortunately, Josh's first indie inquiry, I don't think is going to be an A+ one.
No, I was hoping so.
So let's go to the images themselves. Get back over here. So there's two things that stick out. One is that the vast majority of these images have been taken from the trailer. It may be a little hard to tell because of the picture-in-picture. Now, like number 3, it features a different bird in the trailer, but this exact shot was shown in it. So it's not. So it's too similar to not a denouncer to count it.
Yeah, right. There and literally, I think I could only find one picture that was not in the trailer, and then also all the resolutions are each one is slightly different or slightly off. So when they were sourcing it or pulling it, they were not keeping that in track. So,
and typically, at minimum, you want 5 really good screenshots for your game. High res, no formatting issues, and yeah, like again, like the images themselves, like some like the action shots are all right, but they were taken from the trailer, and that is again, unfortunately, what you don't want to do for your game.
Yeah,
So
because there's really no purpose for doing that. I mean, and it shows one that you didn't take the time to curate the trailer, and two that there might not be any more besides what you've shown, and that's it. You know, if you're using those same assets, it's showing a lack of content or just a lack of curation. So not good on both fronts.
Yeah. So unfortunately, when it comes to images, you can either get a really high or a really low grade. And unfortunately, this is going to be on the low side. I think for me, I have to give it an F minus because there's not enough screenshots, and the ones that are original, they still don't do enough to, I think, sell the game.
Yeah, I'll give it a pity F. I won't give it the F minus just because I know how difficult it is to get all the media to correct size. So I'll give them a slight pass on that. But yeah, just no. I mean, it's all the same, and like it's really a good chance for them to show different parts of the game and show something off, and they just really missed it there. And it seems so there's like more screenshots than you think they need first off, and then none of them are original.
Yeah. So with that, let's go down to the About This Game section. And we start things off with quite a bit of an issue here.
Yeah.
The formatting for this text is not good. It's just very annoying to read.
It is a little bit egregious, a little bit hard for me. Like I immediately cannot look at it. I was a little surprised. I understand where they're coming from, like how they're trying to format it with the comedy of the game. But you could format it in a proper readable way, not like this. And this immediately just makes me want to look away from the screen, which is not something you want on a Steam page.
Yeah, and this could have been something that maybe would have fit further down.
Yeah, like as we go through it, the bullet points are actually really good, and those could have been like up first, and then this could have been at the very end, like it just post, at the very end, and that would have been okay. But as the most prominent piece, that doesn't work.
Yeah, and we go down to the second section. They cropped the kind of the action shot from the trailer and use that as part of this. And even this paragraph right here is too long. At most, you want 5 full lines of text together before you break it up. And there are no GIFs at all on the store page. And that's another big issue.
Yeah, so there's no GIFs. At least there's 2 images breaking it up, which it's still not enough. You should have some action, some GIFs. And then again, I think both of the like you said, the first one was taken from the trailer also and cropped from the screenshot. And I believe the second one is I saw it somewhere in the trailer, but I've seen this image already. So there's like no original media here, and again missing the GIFs. So not good on those counts.
And then the third section is probably the best one. Because I did
Yes.
like some of these bullet points. You work a mundane office job and you experience depression, then you quit your mundane office job and you experience more depression.
See, that's great.
Yeah. And like this part I think could have been like the first section, really.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a better order would have been 3, 2, 1 in terms of these sections.
Yep. Yep, 3, 2, 1, exactly. Yeah, you got it. That's how it would have been. Because this is and this shows, like, the bullet point part shows, like, okay, there's some comedy here. They're trying to go a direction with it, and that's really its strengths. So they put the strengths at the bottom, and it started with weaknesses. Like, literally started with weaknesses in the trailer. Literally started with weaknesses in about this game. So yeah, the kind of bummer.
Yeah.
But again, the bullet points are great. I do like the bullet points; they're very entertaining, and that's probably the better part of the store page.
And I noticed another bit of a grammatical issue. They have the asterisks for the squirrels, but the asterisks should have gone like in the or there should be an asterisk up in the fight a squirrel section to let you know there's more down below. I think that's what you're supposed to do with the asterisks right here. So to recommend avoiding that one squirrel. But yeah, like there are no GIFs, and like the whole squirrel thing could have been a GIF right there.
For real, yeah, definitely.
So what kind of salvages the store or the about this game section is the good bullet points, and it does have some decent framing. But again, this first section is just like a lead balloon to this about this
Big
game
time.
section.
Big time. I mean, sadly, I mean, I'm not trying to. After, if I would have come down to this and I would have seen this, I would immediately have left. After I seen this, if I would have seen the trailer and seen the lack of care in the trailer, so I watched the trailer first, and then I come down to the welcome about, I would be like, okay, they're clearly missing something here in the development process, and I don't feel like they're going to pull through on what they're trying to deliver here. Unfortunately.
So I think grade wise for me, it doesn't get into the F range, but I don't think it gets get too far higher than that. I feel like D minus D range for me.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I mean, almost want to give it, now that I'm like thinking deeper about it, I kind of do want to give it a lower grade. But I think, yeah, like I'm going to go with a C minus. I'll go with a hard C minus on this one.
All right. Yeah, this one again, like there's potential, but there's too many things I think wrong with it for me to go like high into like get beyond like that D minus D, at least for me.
Yeah, and what saddens me is that there's a lot of potential, and like they literally, like, the bullet points was like how you could have done the trailer and how you could have arranged it. They had it all set up and they missed it, so that's kind of sad. But yeah.
All right, so for the last section, we have our title card. So we go over here. So first off, it does have good tags. We have Adventure Indie RPG Strategy. The only one that I think it would be missing is kind of the layup of single player.
Yes.
We checked out the website. It is okay. Like, it's not really doing anything to sell the game or sell the studio.
Yeah, it's not elevating in any way, but I wouldn't say that it's like it's so terrible that it's detracting to it. It works. It's there. So
we checked out the Twitter. You can send a developer a message. They have a YouTube channel, but the YouTube channel has not been updated in, I think I said, like 4 to 6 months.
4 months. Yes. Yeah. 4 months.
And as
they do have a Discord.
Yeah, and as another like slight hit against the About This Game section, there's no mention of the Discord. in the about this game, and that's usually something you want to put there as another kind of like, hey, you want to come
right
talk
there.
to us, kind of thing.
Right, and that's an easy gift. Like it's an easy gift. Come join the Discord right there. One of the easiest ones to do,
Yeah.
and so that's one of the call to actions that you want there at the top.
So this is one of those sections that it's very easy to either score highly or score lowly on, just like with images, because as long as you meet the bare requirements, that's usually an easy C or B right there. So for me, for this one, again, it doesn't. None of these, I think, are like selling or they're like the best, but they meet these like the standard requirements for this.
Right.
So I think for me, I'm kind of leaning like B minus B for the title card.
I will go. They met all the requirements. The website wasn't too bad. Didn't again? It's not really elevating everything. They check all the boxes. I'll go with a B.
Okay.
I'll go with a nice B on it for that.
All right. So with all that, it's time to get to the final grade. And unfortunately for this one, as with our previous episodes, it always gets averages based on the trailer. And for the trailer, we kind of gave it like a D minus.
Yeah.
So with what's here, it's not bad enough, I think, to go lower, but I don't think there's anything that saves it to go higher. So I think for me, I'm going to, I think, lean with what I said with the trailer and give it like a D minus for the final grade, for me at least.
Yeah, definitely. I felt like there was so much missed potential here, and they literally had the formula laid out for them, and they missed it. I feel bad, but I'm gonna have to give it a D minus. The trailer really needs some work. The about this game is egregious, and it's basically backwards the way it's set up, and of course with the resolution and the screenshots. But it's not the worst that I've seen, and it definitely gets across what it's trying to do, I think, with the trailer. So that's what I'll go with too.
Yeah. And from playing the game, it was all right. It is, again, one of those titles that I don't think the opening best sells you on the game. And I think the trailer kind of has that same feeling as well. And as everyone knows, openings are very hard to do right.
Yes.
And they're also, completely pivotal sometimes to the success or failure of a game. So there's no pressure there for any indie devs watching this.
None at all.
But I think that will do it for this episode. So unfortunately for Josh, we didn't get a triple plus store page, but maybe that will happen in the future.
Definitely. I'm definitely hoping so. I'm hoping that the crop will be good.
So, with that, we're going to wrap up this episode of Indie Inquiries. Again, if you are a developer looking to have your store page reviewed by us, get in touch, links down below, message, whatever. We're always looking for store pages. And as I said, for future episodes, depending upon the genre, we may have different guest judges. So, there'll be a different person below me, possibly, in a future episode, but we'll be rotating them out as we see fit. So, Josh, again, thank you so much for coming on, and hope you enjoy this, and we shall, I'm sure, have you back on for another store page soon.
I had a great time. Looking forward to the next one, Josh.
So for everyone watching, do the liking, subscribing, bell ringing, and commenting. You'll find links to Josh's stuff down below, as well as mine. And come back for daily discussions on game design here, and on game wisdom, where some of the art and science of games. Until next time, everybody, take care.